Senator Moran.
Chairman, thank you. Secretary Rubio, welcome. Welcome back to Capitol Hill. Let me ask you to tell us, as the State Department prepares to undertake restructuring of its humanitarian and aid operations, where does food assistance fit in within the department's strategic priorities, and in which office will state place those programs?
Well, it'll be under our director, the new directorate that will oversee both human rights and humanitarian affairs and foreign aid. The only ones that are going to be separated from that is military sales and military financing. But the primary driver of our humanitarian assistance, food assistance, medicine will be through the new bureau that will handle that. It'll be a Senate-confirmed position as well that will respond and answer to that they will answer to. And it will be a priority, but it will be structured in a way to deliver the most amount of money, or the most amount of aid at the least amount of cost in the most effective way.
Do you have a person in mind? This position is in the process of being filled?
That will require Senate confirmation. I don't believe that position has been filled yet. There's someone acting in a temporary capacity, in an acting capacity at the moment. But we will have to come back to you to find a nominee that will run that.
Let me highlight a couple of food programs. Food for Peace and what we call Dole McGovern nutrition program are two long-standing initiatives with deep roots in my home state of Kansas. These programs, in my view, are critical tools in the fight against global hunger, the moral aspect of that, but also vital to Kansas farmers, to American agriculture producers who help deliver. And this program started with a Kansas farmer who felt compelled to do something with excess grain piled on the ground at a time when people across the globe were still starving and hungry. I understand there were findings of mismanagement at USAID. I look forward to working with you and this subcommittee to make sure that mismanagement is something that stays out of our delivery of food aid. I did join with Senator Hoeven and Senator Marshall in legislation that would transfer the administration of Food for Peace to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. I have some sense that you are supportive of that concept. I have some sense that the Secretary of Agriculture is supportive of that concept. I have some sense that the Office of Management and Budget is supportive of that concept. This is my first opportunity to have a conversation with you. Tell me how I can be helpful to you and to the department in the cause of Food for Peace and its future.
Well, again, that's still, obviously, there's legislation out there that's pending on it, but I would argue that it is what you have described as the new arrangement under the Department of Agriculture would generally align with the idea that we want to, because no matter what, we still have to work with them on this program. It would align towards removing one more layer of government that allow us to both identify recipients and delivery mechanisms quicker and more effectively. So generally, your perceptions are correct. We're very open to that transition being done. Obviously, whether it's done statutorily or otherwise, it's something would be open to because we think it has the potential to deliver assistance much quicker, much faster, much more efficiently, and perhaps to a broader set of people.
Mr. Secretary, Food for Peace, the Dole McGovern. Let me ask about McGovern Dole. Any observations in regard to that program?
We haven't made any determinations, but I would imagine that would fold under, if it was under our responsibilities, it would fold under the same bureau that's handling what we call the life-saving assistance or humanitarian assistance.
My take from your answer is that there is a role for food aid programs to continue to exist, to be administered. The goal is to figure out how to reduce the bureaucracy and how to deliver more aid for the same bigger bang for the buck.
We're not stopping foreign aid. I mean, we're going to continue foreign aid and at levels as generous, more generous than any other country in the world and most countries in the world combined. The question is, how can we deliver it more effectively and ensure that it is aligned with our foreign policy priorities? But in the case of food aid, as an example, there's no goal to end it or to stop doing this kind of work. It is more about how can we deliver it more efficiently and effectively and quickly. And in ways that are aligned with our broader foreign policy, and to empower, again, I keep going back to this point because it's really important to make, empowering our regional bureaus to drive these programs, to identify chronic or critical needs, whether they're acute or chronic, and allow us to quickly operationalize it, as opposed to having a standoff bureau that views the whole entire world. Holistically, we are able to drive this at the local and regional level where they know what the priorities are and can drive this aid quickly.
Mr. Secretary, among the many things that you've said in this hearing this afternoon, that's one that certainly caught my attention as having merit, get the process where it's the closest to the crisis, the emergency, the facts are better known, and implemented more closely to home in a foreign country. Let me highlight one more feeding program, and this one's about the future. There's a program called Feed the Future, in which research is done in agriculture designed to figure out how to produce more food, in other words, greater efficiency, and a food that's needed in countries that have different kinds of opportunities to feed themselves. How can we use the powerhouse of American agricultural research to find ways to better allow other countries not only receive food aid from us, but also to grow their own?
I think imagine if you're an ambassador in a country that has a chronic food shortage, and you're somehow able to provide them American ingenuity that allows them to produce more food at a lower cost using less land or less facility. That's an extraordinary thing to offer as part of our toolbox. But those are unique opportunities that probably exist in some places and not in others. And the ability to identify from the ground level, have an ambassador, an embassy, or a regional bureau identify that as both a need and an opportunity, and then us to operationalize it, is exactly the kind of nimble programming that we want to be able to do. But I see great benefit in the ability of us to allow, and it's also, by the way, the kind of foreign aid that ends. Because once they have acquired the capacity to do it, it's helped our companies to find a place where they can deploy it. It's helped them to develop independence, and it creates good faith among the nations in the future. That is part of the soft power that Senator McConnell was talking about a moment ago.
Mr. Secretary, I think it's the components that I've outlined are three circumstances. You meet the needs of someone in a crisis today, but the long-term goal is to help people around the globe be self-sufficient, countries to care for themselves, and reduce the role, perhaps, of the United States in that effort. And I would highlight for what you just said, the program that provides the agricultural research to accomplish what you described as a positive development is a program called Food for Peace. I said that wrong. It's a program called Feed the Future. Thank you.
Thank you.